Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Welcome to another edition of the Bellisario Sonic YouTube channel. Today, an interesting discussion, something to throw out there for you music collectors, maybe a little controversial, but can the 5.1 Blu-ray packages that are coming out now, the art books, can they replace the vinyl record in people's music collections? So that's what I want to discuss today. Now, this is something kind of controversial because they're diehard vinyl record people out there to think this is heresy because they just can't stand digital, some of the people. For me, if it sounds good, it sounds good. Doesn't matter to me whether it's digital or vinyl. What I do like is the physicality of the vinyl record. And I did a video prior to this one about why I collect vinyl records. And towards the end of that, I kind of got into a little bit of why I felt that some of the record companies, or most of the record companies, especially the big ones, are falling down on marketing and taking advantage of the Blu-ray format. So I'm going to talk about that today. Let's take a look at this Arion. This is an art book. And mostly only the smaller companies are making these, like Century Media. They're putting out these kind of art books. And these are really nice because this kind of gives you the same feeling as having an album. So, you know, when you open this up, this happens to come with 2 CDs, 2 DVDs, and a Blu-ray. Okay, and in here, I've got this nice book. I mean, with great artwork, with a lot of cool information about the concert and all the people that sang in it and played in it, all the musicians and information, and it's well put together. And I bought this and I didn't buy the record. I did not buy the vinyl record. Well, why? Well, in this particular instance, and I'm not saying this will be the same for every single release, but in this instance, it's a live performance. And on the Blu-ray, it's an actual concert footage. It's filmed, which I love watching live concerts. So, and you know, you've got this high quality mix on the Blu-ray that's absolutely fantastic. And I find that to be the case with a lot of these live recordings, that the 5.1 mix on a lot of those is better than the record. It just sounds better than the record. And you've got the whole video side of things. And so if you've got the physicality as well with the nice book here, presentation, you've got the booklet in there with all the information. And I've got some visual things that go along with that, along with the great mix that doesn't degrade, doesn't require upkeep like a vinyl record, then to me that is intriguing. So let me just show you a couple of the things here that I've purchased lately that are 5.1 packages. The Jethro Tulls are absolutely fantastic. These are wonderful. This actually, you know, I have this on an original pressing and it wasn't one of my favorite records. And when I got this and listened to it on the 5.1 mix, it blew me away. I was like, how come I haven't noticed this record before? And I listen to it on this now all the time. This is just awesome. And when you put the disc in, you know, you've got a little bit of graphics that comes up with the whole, you know, on your screen while you're listening to this 5.1 mix. You've got live performances on this. You know, you got CDs in here, DVD, and I think this is either a Blu-ray or it's a DVD. This is a DVD in here, 2 DVDs in here that contain different music. Now, I would have preferred just a Blu-ray, but either way, I got 2 DVDs in here. And on this, I've got 5.1 mix. I've got stereo mixes. I've got you know, all this material on here. So I can't get that on a vinyl record. A vinyl record set like this would cost you $100 to get all this stuff at least. And it won't sound as good. You won't have the 5.1. Now, those that are out there that are traditionalists are going to, you know, cry heresy and say that, you know, you shouldn't listen to it on anything but the original record. And that's fine if that's the way you want to go on that. I think you're missing out because these sound great. Now, what I don't like about these is this format. This I would rather see come in something like this. I don't like this fat, awkward, this kind of sucks because it's got these plastic things in here and they break and the disc falls out And although the book is kind of nice, it's better than a CD booklet. I do like it. It's just I would rather have it in a big book like that one. So I think these should change. I don't like this format, but I will buy this rather than buying a reissue vinyl on this any day of the week. So I think that's something that these record companies are missing out on. Now I'm glad that these Jethro Tull, that these are coming out, and these are great. The Marillion books that are coming out like that are really good. So I did buy those on this again because you get a documentary on there. So on this you actually have a Blu-ray. You got Blu-ray audio. You've got 9624, HD 5.1. You've got also a live performance on here. You've got videos on here, promo videos. So you've got all this material on one Blu-ray disc that to me makes it very intriguing. Now, being a diehard fan of the first Marillion records, I'm a sucker, and I did buy the record set as well. Why? Because look at this beautiful artwork and look at the presentation. Now, how cool would that have been if they would have just charged me $10 more and put the DVD or the Blu-ray in here? That would have been what I wanted, because now I have the records and then I have the big book. So let me show you the big book that comes in this. Right? So now I've got the big book. Look at the artwork, all the time that went into to draw that. And then I've got all these pictures in here. And so that's really where, when I'm collecting music, I like the whole interactive experience of the physicality of this. So I want the big book. I don't want the little book. And then of course you've got the records in here with the cool graphics and stuff. So, and you can't get that on something like this. So they did get me coming and going on that. I bought both versions. So, they were able to get me on that because I'm such a big fan of these records. But I would have gladly, have paid, even if they didn't have the records in there, if they would have gave me a nice big book with a nice these art prints, and then put the Blu-ray in there on a nice sleeve card, or presented nicely on a sleeve or something, I would gladly have bought that, and I wouldn't have got the record set on that. I may have purchased the regular version of the vinyl just because I'm a big fan of it. But I think a lot of these companies are missing out on what they could be doing for music lovers. So, for example, let's just say they put out a version of Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Okay, one of the greatest selling records. They still sell off the shelves. They, all the record stores carry them. What happens if they had a 12-inch art book with a Blu-ray in there? And on the Blu-ray, first of all, if you had a Fleetwood Mac book like this on Rumors, you could have all the pictures of the band, the studio, pictures of them in the studio, all write-ups and interviews about what it was like to record the record. And then you had a Blu-ray in there on a sleeve like this. And the Blu-ray had 5.1 mix of that, and maybe a stereo original mix, and maybe a stereo remix. So now I've got, at 24-bit. So now I've got this high quality Blu-ray with a nice presentation, with all the artwork, with extra pictures. Then I put the Blu-ray in. Not only do I have a 5.1 or a nice stereo mix, high quality, that will never degrade, but graphics can come up. So while I'm listening to my 5.1 mix, and like other bands have done this, like Transatlantic, I'm sitting there watching the 5.1 mix of their album, and I've got graphics and stuff going on. Either maybe different pictures or different graphic stories that go along with the songs or what have you. Well, now you're talking. Now I've got something that I can engage in physically. Here I can still hold it. I've still got my big artwork. I've got my big book on the inside with all the information. And now I've got this spectacular stereo and 5.1 mix, and I've got the visuals up on the screen. Maybe you can even put a live concert from the Rumors era of Fleetwood Mac on the Blu-ray, because you can fit all this stuff on one Blu-ray. I'd gladly pay $40 for that. I mean, I'm just saying. So, rather than collect the record on that or get a reissue on the record, now rumors, I happen to have original copies of those, but if they put something like that out on one of my favorite classic rock records, I think that's probably what Jimmy Page needs to do for his 6th or 7th re-release of his catalog. Hey, Jimmy, why don't you give us a 12-inch art book on all your Led Zeppelin albums, and give us a huge booklet like this on the inside with all the history of Zeppelin 1, for example. Give us all your pictures. Give us a Blu-ray mix. Sit down and give us a 5.1 mix, or give us a high-quality stereo mix. Maybe give us the original mix and give us a remix, or 2 remixes, whatever. And then give us some cool graphics on the screen. You'll be able to resell your Led Zeppelin catalog again for a 7th time or whatever he's up to now. So anyway, those are just my thoughts on the difference between collecting a record and collecting a Blu-ray. And is it possible for a digital format to compete for the physicality of the record? And I think if it's done correctly, yes, it could. I think it really could. And I would find myself certainly drawn, especially to particular albums that I'm a big fan of. Again, like a Led Zeppelin box set that had more information, on that than the box sets that he put out. He could do a complete another rerun, but get different things, pictures, and different information in a format like this. And then maybe you get a different mix, 5.1 mix on a Zeppelin or something. That'd be kind of interesting. Anyway, just my thoughts, my ramblings. I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know what you think. Can the Blu-ray art book, could it compete with the vinyl record in music collectors' libraries? All right, take care. We'll talk to you later.